Well, guys, I thought I'd make a video. I've had a few people asking where I've been. I'd make a video kind of explain where I've been. And right now, what has been going on is I have moved. Um, and we basically have gotten moved in here. This is one of the big things I like about this place is it's got a full basement. And as you can see, I've got a lot more work to do yet, unpacking and getting things organized down here. Try not to spin too fast. I've had people say they got a little seasick. But there's lots and lots of stuff and boxes to unpack and get things set in place and everything. Place did come with a cheap pool table. It's not your best pool table, but grandkids like it. But the thing I do like about it is it's controlled temperatures down here and kind of controlled space, so I can be able to work on cabinets all year round. I don't have to worry about like the other place out in the garage. I had to worry about, as the summertime it's too hot, wintertime way too cold. So down here we got heat and cool and everything. It's a basement. It also got a lot of shelves and stuff, so once I get things kind of rearranged, and I'll be able to get all my books up there, and a lot of them are still on the floor excuse me, or in boxes and stuff. So but it's been a long drawn out process, and a lot longer. It took longer than I had anticipated. A lot of it mainly is because my back decided to give me troubles on this. My entire life I went with no back troubles, and now for some reason I've got a lot of lower back problems, and so I'd pack and move a little bit of stuff, and then I'd have to give the back a rest for a while and then back in on it, and the same thing going with unpacking. So it took a lot longer. So anyway, this is the basement. Once I do get things kind of straightened around down here, I'll be able to, I've got several cabinets and that does need some attention really badly. I haven't even decided on some of them if they're going to be full rebuilds, because some of them are in pretty bad shape, and we'll get back with it. Anyway, we'll head upstairs here in a minute. Now the door that's back there goes outside. There's an outside set of stairs and then an inside set of stairs. The outside set of stairs is great as far as bringing large stuff down, because the inside of stairs is a headache, literally. The distance between that up there, that board, and to the stairs is not very much, so it's one of those things you kind of duck at and lean forward a little bit when you go up. As you can see, that on the other side of that's a hallway, so not much can be done about it. And then we come up into the area where I work on stuff. One of the nice things about this place, where I got the desk set up at, my computer desk, and where I work on things, is it's got, and of course the light's probably going to blind this camera a little bit, but it's got 5 windows, and I do enjoy looking out the window, even if there is a little bit of snow going on. We're getting some flurries. We had a lot more snow, but we had some warm temperatures for a few days that melted quite a bit of it off. Comes with a garage. a little metal shed and stuff. So, but here's the workbench, pretty much set up just the same as it was. A lot of unneeded stuff is downstairs, and then of course over here we got all the parts bins and some at the end of the bench as well. There's a cabinet up there, it's got stuff in it, mostly just chemicals and things. So I decided to make a little video on this. Since this is kind of short, but there's not much to say. It's just a move. Although I will state that it's an 8-block move. I used to live 8 blocks from here to the east. The street I lived on was East Street. The street we are now on is West Street. So I moved from the East Street to West Street. So I do really enjoy being able to look outside when I'm doing things. So anyway, I thought the other thing I might do on this video, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I can't guarantee that how many different videos I'll make on this subject, but just little short videos about tips, you know, just tips on anything, you know, mostly on electronics, but I may bring in a couple things on a few other subjects. But today I thought I'd talk about, there's actually several tips I can talk about soldering. Today just a couple little ones, and I thought I'd go ahead and put that in here. Excuse the fact that I'm just basically hand holding, so I try not to shake, but sometimes I do. One thing on soldering that I want to talk about, you know, you go solder something, you know, you're working on something, and you get done, you know, you got the parts replaced or whatever you're doing, and you're done. If you're going to be, you know, working on a project and every day, or pretty much every day you're going to be breaking the solder out and soldering, it's not that important. But if you're going to be, you know, say going a week before you pick the solder up again, sometimes when you melt the solder and you get done soldering, if you look at the end of the solder, you may see a hole in the end, and what that is that's where the flux is. And if you leave it that way, say for a week, it could dry. It will dry out some up into the solder. So that little bit of solder won't be any good for you, or you know, won't have any flux on it. I think it was Kester, or might have been Weller. I remember reading an article that they put out 30 some years ago, or 40, where they talked about testing solder on this, and found that at least at that time the flux would dry out in solder about an inch or a little less per week. It would continue going up if you left the solder like that for a long enough period of time to actually pretty much ruin your solder as far as flux goes. So what I generally do, now sometimes when you melt it and you're done, it'll actually melt over that hole, and that's fine. But if it doesn't, what you can do is, and hopefully I can get on this good enough. No, focus. You see, I pinch it. Just, you know, needle those pliers or some pliers, just pinch it off. And it'll keep the solder good for you. And you don't have to ever worry about that. Another little tip, I thought I'd throw a couple tips in here because, you know, they're just short little things, is two things about your solder tip on your soldering iron. One, when you're, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but when you're done soldering and you're going to be shutting it off, go ahead and put a lot of solder on the tip. It'll protect it. When you heat it back up, you can wipe it off. That's no big deal. because it won't be any good for you. It's old. But what it does do is this blob of solder on here will be the only thing it oxidizes. It won't be the tinning on your tip that oxidizes. So every time you're done soldering and you're done with the soldering iron, just go ahead and blob some solder on your tip before you shut it off. And when you are soldering, one soldering tip I can give you in this is wet your iron each time. And what that means is you come, before you start going to solder anything, you know, component in, or you're desoldering or whatever, go ahead, wipe your tip, and then put some fresh solder on it, and then go and do your soldering. What that does is it gives fresh solder with fresh flux on the tip, and which will give you the greatest amount of heat transfer possible. So anyway, those are just three tips there. I'll talk more about some soldering tips, and we'll talk about tips on meters and stuff like that, and safety tips, and anything else I can think of over the time. I would like to try to make it like a once a week short little video on a tip or something. And again, it may not be always about even electronics. I could give you, it could be a tip on something else or some other thing. But most of the, all the old timers know this stuff and stuff. This is really geared towards the newbies, the new guys in this. So anyway, I'm fine, other than a little bout of flu last month, which I got over, which is typical this time of year. I've been doing alright, and it's just been busy moving, and I meant to make a video throughout it, just to kind of let everybody know where I've been. I've got a whole list of videos to watch. Of a lot of you guys has made videos. So anyway, some of you have asked me, and I've told you, and so anyway, I'm gonna get this up. It seems like even on something that's short, I don't know how to shut up, so I always make it long. So thanks for watching, guys, and your inquiries and your comments and stuff, and I'll be getting back to it as time moves on, and we've got a lot of stuff to do, and I've got a lot of future video ideas and stuff. We got things to work on. We got Admiral TV to work on. I've got the Philco done. I need to make a video of it playing and everything for you, and a lot of other stuff. So I got a lot of stuff to talk about in theory and stuff. We'll keep rather simple. So including some things that I know some people's had questions about, not so much on anything I put up, but there's some stuff that I need to talk about to answer some questions of people. So I'll see you guys on the next video, and y'all have a good day.